Before World War II, the Soviet Union invested a lot of research and development efforts in mortar, aiming to create a series of mortars from basic combat units to division-level units. The heavy mortar developed for combat divisions is quite unique because this type of artillery needs to balance power and mobility, gradually deviating from conventional structures in its design. In 1937, the 7th Factory in Leningrad was tasked with developing a new type of 160 mm heavy mortar, which would serve the combat divisions alongside the larger 240 mm heavy mortar. During combat, it would use high-explosive shells with higher charges to bombard high-value targets such as bridges and field fortifications, and also for suppressing the enemy with artillery fire. After careful consideration, in order to meet the various needs of the military, the designers turned the mortar into a towed artillery piece similar to a howitzer, with the addition of a soft recoil system. The mortar had a simple integrated carriage, with a spade at the rear to stabilize the barrel, and wheels from the ZIS 376.2 mm cannon. The combat weight of the artillery piece was about 1.6 tons, and it could be transported at high speed by truck, with a maximum marching speed of 45 km per hour. It could also be towed by horses. The robust barrel of the mortar, similar to that of a howitzer, was smoothbore, breech-loaded, and used a horizontal sliding wedge breech mechanism. When loading, the barrel had to be laid flat, and a 40 kg heavy shell containing 12 kg of explosive material, such as TNT or Amatol explosive, would be loaded into the open breech. This type of ammunition had twice the explosive power of a 152 mm shell, making it very effective against soft targets. The maximum elevation of the artillery barrel was 80 degrees, with a horizontal firing range of 14 degrees. Initially, the effective range of the shell was required to be 5,000 meters, but later developed shells increased the range to 8,000 meters, greatly improving its combat performance. Compared to conventional howitzers, the 160 mm heavy mortar had a significant advantage in that it was relatively simple to manufacture, with lower requirements for metal materials and processing techniques. Its lighter and more compact size than the 152 mm howitzer made it more suitable for mobility, and its curved trajectory was also more suitable for attacking mountainous targets. However, the production of the 160 mm heavy mortar was delayed because it was developed and produced in Leningrad, which was long besieged by the German army after the outbreak of the Great Patriotic War, leading to resource shortages and bombardment of the factory by the German army. In the context of the Leningrad battlefield at the time, both sides relied more on long-range heavy howitzers. By the later stages of the war, the Soviet army had enough heavy artillery and self-propelled guns, and to some extent, replaced the larger caliber mortars with a large number of 120 mm heavy mortars. As for the 240 mm caliber mortar mentioned earlier, this technological line later developed into specialized weapons such as the Tulip self-propelled mortar, which is still active on the battlefield today.